Don't blink, it's your Blink. Welcome to another video, another concept. No, not a concept, sorry. This is the finale of the Arnold documentary on Netflix. This is part 3, so we had the bodybuilder, we had the actor, and now we're getting the politician, right? So, man, that was such an episode. And just to say, like, normally episode they lasted 40 minutes, an hour. This one lasted an hour and a half, so there's a lot to go through. Again, fact, there's a lot of I didn't know about Arnold. There's a lot I didn't know. Kind of crazy how much I didn't know, and I think it's kind of such a cool concept that he's an immigrant that came to America. I'm not American, so this doesn't touch me. I'm Canadian, but I find it so inspiring that there's an immigrant that came here, and it's like, this country gave me a lot. I'm gonna pay it back by improving it in a political fashion. Because not a lot of people are interested in political, so like Arnold, who could, and how he was surrounded by the Kennedy, and how he knew of the political problem. I think it was super cool. So we had like, how he felt like life. It's funny because it's starting on a mountaintop, right? He started how he's talking about how everything led him to being a politician, and the way he's talking about it is so cool because he's talking about how because he was an act because he was a movie actor, he knew how to talk, he knew how to communicate, he knew how to sell himself. And a public figure, he was a celebrity, and because he was a bodybuilder, he knew how imagining things, he knew how to shape things. So it's like this whole life actually like led him to this. So I thought it was super cool that we get to see that because again, I believe everybody in life has an end goal, and goal, and that your entire life work is getting to that end goal. I was grateful for America, and it helped him so motivation for politics. How he felt like he was always aiming. How he felt like California was a mess because he was living in California, and he was presenting himself, and people they told him, no, bro. First of all, we had the Terminator 3 coming, right? So you cannot do that. Second of all, it takes time. You have to be city mayor, then you run for city council. And no, city council, city mayor, then national, right, provincial. Not he was governor of California, which is a country, right? Which is kind of, I don't know if California is not a country. Sorry, I'm Canadian. I just said so. It's a state, right? One of the 52 states of America, if I'm not wrong. Um, it was like, nah. Arnold was like, nah. If Reagan did it, I can do it too. So it's kind of cool that just there he showcased that he had this knowledge of politics, right? He wanted to show. He wanted to start not competing. He wanted to start his political career in 2002, right? But he had a connection, so the financement, which is the hardest part, was not a problem, right? Unfortunately, he had some legal issue about Terminator 3. He had to do it, and if he couldn't do it, he would get sued. So he's like, nah, no, I don't want to get sued. So he decided, okay, I'm still gonna do something. He brought Proposition 49, right? Which is him saying, okay, I'm not gonna be in politics right away, but at least I'm gonna do something in a particular political level. At least I'm gonna say, hey, I got interest in politics. If my proposition is working, it's good. If it's not working, then I'll know I have to change my shit. So when I do follow my political aspiration, right? Here, cash in. It's funny because I'm talking. I wrote down he cashed in those sweet movie lines. So basically, people they knew him from the movie. So he had catch his phrase from the movie, like "Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back," right? Things like that. It's really important because to him, it's like, yo, the people they know me for that. I'm gonna use it, which is again, it's kind of like a catch 22. Do me if you do because people are gonna say, oh, he's a celebrity. Do me if you don't because he's a celebrity. You already are a celebrity, so even if you don't use those lines, a lot of people just like the movie. They don't like the guy and himself, right? Perfect. Even admit could win primary, right? So because it's a re-election, so the last prime minister or governor, sorry, right, was Gray Davis, and he left the state in very financial crisis. It was really bad. It was really bad, and they wanted to re-elect him, and it was perfect for Arnold because he admitted that he couldn't win a primary. But since it's only 2 months, there's no primary, right? He did. He was promoting Terminator 3, which is one of the legal reason he couldn't run in 2002. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna end up I'm gonna touring a different country, and this is gonna help me out for my political campaign. So again, he was thinking, he was planning, super cool, right? October 7th, when it happened, we decided yeah or nay, and it's really fucking cool because at first it was a yes, but then he needed his wife's permission, which is Maria. And his wife, she was like, I'm not sure, because she said if you do it, then we don't have privacy. You already have so little privacy because you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you're a celebrity, so it's a risk, right? And not everybody wants to not have privacy. Pull back, his friend goes in. So when went out, his friend came in, and he was like, "Yo, it's really cool." And Arnold was like, "Yo, I'm gonna support you because I care about you." And the friend's like, "You know what? I don't feel like running. You should run." And Arnold's like, "Yo, this is a sign from God, right?" Which again, do I believe it's a sign from God? No. Do I believe it's perfect timing? Yes. And everything in his life seems to be associated with timing. Uh, Perfect time, said, go ahead, cute. There was a cute note. Maria, she dropped in a note. She's like, yo, this is what I would tell you if you were to run, and this is what I told you if you were not to run. Right? So it's a cute note, and it proves to Arnold, like, yo, she's open to the ID. So it's not a yes, it's not a perfect yes, but it's her being open. I'm like, okay, I'll follow you if it happens. Which is something that is perfect. He went on Jay Leno, the show, which was huge back then. And he was like, yo, and it's kind of funny because he told Arnold. Arnold said to Jay, I'm not sure if I'm if I'm gonna run. And Jay was like, yeah, but I need an answer before I bring you on. It's like, no, just trust me. And Jay was like, fuck, I don't know if I could trust him. I don't know if I can do it. And then he announced on Jay Leno that he was running. So again, it was kind of super fucking cool. There's a cool moment where Jay was surprisingly shaking Arnold, and it was really nice. There was a lot of actors that worked with him. So we're seeing people from Juno, we're seeing people from Terminator. They were saying, I'm not sure if he can. And some other, they were saying, yeah, totally see him, right? And, he let it speak, right? So it was more motivating for Arnold to let it speak because it's like, yeah, if it doesn't work, I still have movies. But people are not going to say, well, he doesn't have movies anymore, so that's why he's going into a political campaign, Which, I don't think it was true. Motivate. He ran with no staff, with no idea of what's going on. He just ran to run. So people decided to join because, again, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was a bigger than nature person, right? And it's incredible because, again, this guy was a bodybuilder, he was an actor. So maybe he could just achieve anything. He's a legend. So the news worldwide, in California was known for being eccentric, right? So he married a Kennedy. So right away, people were like, "Oh, the Kennedys are left wing. I was gonna be left wing," and I think left wing are Democrats, and I think right wing are Republicans. So, Arnold was a Republican. Maria is helping, and since she's a Kennedy, she knew right away. She knew how to help him. She helped him with his speeches. She helped him a lot. So shout out to Maria for being a supportive wife, for being a supportive partner. Doesn't matter if you're husband or wife, you have to be supportive. The recall was very surreal because again, it wasn't something that was happen a lot, And Arnold had this sentence of, "I want to have fun when I'm working. I want to have fun being the governor." People they're so focused on working and having no fun. They're worrying and working and worrying and working. Want to have fun work, then fun and work. Right? That was super cool. And so was New Wordy. The recall was super nice. So yeah, it was something that wasn't happening often. So people in the news were talking about it, and so was Arnold. So again, it helped him. It really helped him, and Arnold really right. Dude, this is an amazing part. And a lot of people when they saw Arnold, when they said, "Oh, he's able," a lot of people Arnold star they went into they tried to do the same thing he did, and Arnold by looking weird, those people were weirder. So by comparison, he looked normal compared to these weirder people, which actually helped him again. A timing mastermind, and there's nothing wrong if you're weird if there's nothing wrong to be weird and to be running, but people are going to be judging you on the fact that you're different. So could it be the other actor? Hard to believe that Arnold loved that they were weird to make him look normal. See, we're seeing behind the scene of how they filming a political campaign, which was really freaking nice. I never saw that before. um, Arnold was like, "Yo, I know how to communicate, right? So that's my plan. I want to communicate. I want you know me, you know I can communicate. That's the plan." Which is the dude was funny. He was really funny. There's a guy who threw eggs, right, at him. It's like you throw an egg, but he owe me bacon. You cannot have egg without bacon, which is super American and super cool. And people they were applauding. It's like, yo, it works, you know. It's turning a bad situation into a good one. It's important. Oops. Sorry about this. Okay, now I fucked up. Oh fuck. I fucked up. Sorry. Story didn't have. Yo yo. Debate join cause yeah. Arnold, no Arnold Apileto invite. Nice. I got you. Joke. Nice. It was a genius. It was really well orchestrated. He knew that the problem was the financial crisis that great events left in the financial crisis. So bringing in Warren Buffett, which is considered one of the richest men on the planet, was smart. It was something that had to be done. And since Arnold had a connection, right, it was more easy for Arnold. It was easier for Arnold to bring in people like Warren Buffett to it, you know. And it's kind of super fucking cool because again, it's not unfair because if you know those people, it's not unfair to use them, right? The call was okay. He was an outsider. Because he was an outsider, the people they didn't think that he was. And this again is pushed later in the documentary. Arnold came in with no idea of what politics was. He came in with no preconceived notion, and Arnold was a sponge willing to learn. So in a perfect situation, Arnold was willing to be the new guy that changed shit, that made things happen, that completely changed the structure of politics as we know it. Till Downing Arnold went into the study, and Arnold clear planning, think like a body. Oh, for sure, it was the most watched debate in California. Right, people that were still doubting Arnold, but he went into study. He went into to open his ears, just listen. Right, he was talking about how being a bodybuilder, he was able to shape his body. Now, all he had to do is shape his mind, right? Which was similar, but again, is here as bodybuilder they helped him, which is again a notion that whatever you do helps you out at the very end. You had his comic writers for when they had an issue. Sorry about that. The comic writer, so if he didn't know an issue, they would come in for him. So, for example, there was somebody that asked him on his loophole. Right? I don't remember what it was. It was a loophole, and he was like, "Yo, your loophole is financial," and it was actually something good. And I don't know the exact details, but it's people they really appreciate that. So, again, it was nice. Blank Space. Now they had narrative. What? Okay. The LA Time, right? They were Arnold was being like this super popular guy, right? So it sucks because, you know, because of that he was more scrutinized. Then there was a lot of things that I didn't know about him being a creep, right? They dig up some of his past to find some woman that was saying, "Oh, Arnold was a creep," and he groped them and he publicly like took off their top, right? He says that in the beginning he says like, "Yo, this was 40 years ago. This was the bodybuilding era. This was something they did. It was something they used to do, you know." And admittedly, I don't think this is fair. I don't think he should do that as a person, Arnold. But they were at this point they were just trying to dig dirt because they never came up with a positive story. They just want to try to dig up dirt, and I just don't think that's a very human thing to do. Unclear 5 days before the election. Oh, there was also the fact that the woman said they humiliate them in sexual ways. Also the fact that they released the story 5 days before the election, right? And it seemed to be timed. At first, they said there was one person. At the end, there was 15, right? So I was like, "Holy shit, dude! That's a lot of lady. That's a lot of women, right?" Arnold continued. He says sorry. He apologizes. He's being honest. He's admitting to what he did. He isn't. Dude, that's something. It takes balls. Admit that he wasn't okay. He admit that it was a joke, and he apologized, right? I said at least he's honest. People they called it, they didn't believe him, they called him a damage control. Still people calling in for info. There was 15 women, so I don't know how many women it takes to be credible, but even one is too much. But when 15 of them, 15 women calls, like holy shit, that's a lot of women, you know. So far, still more apologize from the fans. Admit it was wrong. Some people they still support Arnold. Like Arnold, he wins, right? The story didn't have any impact. He was, you can see that Arnold was super nervous on the election day, right? So which is normal, and it's fine because when he says he won, he says, "I remember winning Mr. Olympia. I remember winning. I remember being a father for the first time." But nothing compared to being elected, which is crazy, right? There was some cute picture, and again, there's a really nice thing for the ladies, and his post and his present interview. And he actually admits that it was all bullshit. He really felt sorry for the ladies. I don't think it's okay now, but still. It's a really sad episode. It's really sad. You know, fuck man. There's a lot that I didn't know about him. You know, wrong, but some people just support, right? When dude cry when he won, Arnold cried, and I said it was sweet, right? My dad felt like a leader. His first reaction to being elected, he felt like a leader that some people they could rely on him. It's like, okay, well, I'm a father. My kids rely on me, but now California relies on me, which is a huge step, right? We got talk on board. He talks about how he stays true to himself. He's being unapologetic. He wanted to be a public servant, which is kind of like a cop, a firefighter. He talked to the official party and got a nice speech, right? And it was watched 40 million times, right? And this is when the documentary shift. The whole time Arnold is cocky. The whole time Arnold is this badass, and then it shifts. He's like, "Yo, if I had to compare myself to a character, I'm like Julio. I'm this naive guy who's willing to learn." You can see that he puts himself down and like, "Bro, what are you doing? Don't put yourself down, dude. That's not cool. It's not a good look, right?" He sat down in the office. He wasn't sure what to do, right? So it's kind of cool because they're talking about how he wasn't influenced in his political views. He said, "I like to smoke cigars. I never hide myself. I wanted a smoking tent," which was cool because people they call it a stage. It was like where you made the deal. It was very publicized. It was a cool, comfortable place where you could make deals, which wasn't in the office. It was the smoking tent was likable Arnold. He was a likable dude, and smoking a cigar with him was an experience, right? I mean that he learned a lot. He had to learn fast because again, people are gonna judge him. People are gonna be judging him a lot. I want to involve people with polls, right? Which is something that's been used in politics for a long time. He used it as leverage because Arnold was popular, so we get more votes, and the vote was like, yo, we know that if people vote, we're gonna lose. So if it was the Republican versus Democrat, if the Republican had the vote, Democrats were more willing to negotiate. They didn't vote for the ID; they voted for Arnold, which was a bit of a tricky situation, but still, right? I kind of cool, to be honest. People behind door signing deals with a fight, right? It's what really impressed me about the documentary is like, oh, they signed it. So between the parties, they signed a he was like, oh, dude. They were Democrat and Republican signing dude, and there was this guy who said, "There's a difference between a poor loser and a poor winner." I mean, poor winner, you just fuck me. So they were realizing deal behind doors, and then they were making a spectacle of like a fight on scene, right? And that's actually cool because that's the way it works, right? And people they were happy that they fight. It's like fuck, it was a total fight. Maybe we deserve this. Maybe we finally got something and they fought for us, but it's not fighting. They're already decided behind the door. So kind of like a white lie, a noble lie, if you want. But Maria told him admit being impatient, right? Then, but it was too Arnold. These people they said, oh, he's too Arnold. Wait 1 second. It sucks because for him, I feel bad for him because Arnold was so people they applaud him for being Arnold. It's like, oh, Arnold is so cool, but then when things went wrong, they're like, oh, he's too Arnold. He's not willing to change. And Maria, she told him, you're too impatient. People are gonna be like, oh, he's impatient. I don't not gonna like that, and he never realized it until she said, and then you had to realize, and you had to put aside his pride of being a celebrity, somewhat not a celebrity anymore. He's a governor. He has to realize that he's not an action movie, and the way he talks about it, the facial expression, the body language, it's more about him understanding that fuck, I really let people down, right? And that's what's sad about this episode. It's Arnold coming to a realization. You feel bad for him. I think you feel bad for old people in general because they kind of do so much, but this guy, fuck, you feel bad for Arnold, right? He found himself a chief of staff from the opposition, right? Since he was a Democrat, who was pushed away by the Democrat, and he was a Republican being pushed by the Republican, right? They both been in the middle. They were both without a party, so that allowed them to do a lot, right? Democrat together was open minded. They were open minded. He got the best environmental guy, even though he was a Democrat, right? And he installed some changes. So what they don't talk about is how he legalized weed in California, which was one of the first states legalized marijuana, which was a big financial impact on California. Not sure what he didn't mention. He didn't mention it at all, right? The environmental guy, it helped Arnold a lot. He made some clear change that even Obama was like, yo, these changes work, these changes are good. And since it was only California, Obama was like, yo, that's a good idea. It's not California, I'm the president of the United States. I can do whatever I want. And if I want to follow somebody that had a good idea, I'm going to follow somebody that had a good idea. Right? Which was something I super appreciated. Right? Arnold, the kid, they hated the job. And you can kind of see that it was a huge battle. This is sad because during this opposition, he had a kid. He had an affair. He lost his wife. He lost his kid. The kid, they're still close today, but for the kids, it was rough. Right? Then he understood that he had another kid. He had another son. And that other son, right now, they're super close. And it sucks, you know? Middle Republican, right? We have the California fire and how it was an economic crisis. Everything went to shit, right? People really blame Arnold, but in the end, he did something good. He even managed to reshape politics because, again, it was about public, it was about perception, it was about celebrities, right? Then we learned that he had an affair, he had divorced, multiple kids, right? He kept a secret. It sucks because he was not being able to be a dad, right? And he's talking about how he was a dad for his kids with Maria, but he wasn't a dad for one of his son who was with a maid. And that son today lives with his father and they're happy together. So it's really cool, you know? And he feels sad because he said, oh, this is not what I wanted. We don't live under the same roof. I miss my family. And you do feel really bad for him, you know? Stuff, man. Stuff being old. Fuck up, he's human. He's back to the gym. He's been adapted to Joseph. Joseph is the name of the son. He only... That was kind of like the affair's child, you know, if you want. Right? Dad anymore. He's back to the gym. Wanted to be there for him. Try to stay busy. Because as his father say, if you stay busy, you stay... If you're too busy, you don't think about... whatchamacallit. Oh, fuck, I forgot the word. If you're too busy, you don't think about about your problem, I guess. There was another word he used. I don't remember it. Right? He kept with the bodybuilding because he was a big fan of it. We learned that his best friend Franco died. Right? Arnold, you can kind of tell that he's sad, bro. He had a sad life. He said, I had the closest as perfect life as I am. He's talking about aging, how hard it is. How he wants to be like he wants to be young again, right? Which is something super normal, right? He realized in his later years, Arnold realized how much he owed to people, and how much he was lucky, and at the end he's still a legend. So yeah, that was the episode. It was a really sad one. Fuck, it was. I didn't cry. I didn't fucking cry, but it was still sad, right? And that's it. That's the series. As I said, we're gonna be reviewing Conor McGregor, right? So yeah. So I love you guys. Take it easy.